Wait, I'm talking to myself again. I do that all the time. All right, I'm here now. I'm here now. Are you here? Is this thing on? It happens all the time because I turn my sound off. Yeah. So we're going to install secrets with Vault, and then we're going to integrate those into our Kubernetes cluster by adding the external secrets storage reference. What is it called? A store. It's a controller. It's you install the Vault into your Kubernetes cluster, and you can use Vault for secrets. So you don't have to use secrets anywhere. And I want to show you why this is important. So let's jump right in. So if we go to uh, my highly minimized KSAP hardware deployment, you can see I've already changed my project to use secrets. I wrote this code today. It was extremely easy. I just cannot overstate how important learning YQ and JQ is, particularly YQ though. Um, this line right here, since we're in software and dev category, we'll talk about the code involved. So this code right here iterates through every YAML doc and outputs without a new line all of the YAML docs that have a kind of secret, and it passes that and it takes the one word out of there. That is people who use sed and csplit and all that stuff. You're doing it wrong. I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. It's not as efficient. It's not as direct. It's not as accurate. This is the right way to do it. So what this does is this actually creates a secrets file that contains a reference to every secret that was in the template and dynamically generates there's one for each cluster because they have different secrets. And the way we've done our secret path is we have the name of the cluster inside of the secret so that it is distinguished from other secrets in our secret store. So by doing that, we no longer have secrets in our KSAP. So we can save it to GitHub and all the stuff that we normally couldn't do if we had secrets in there. It's against most policies to do that, even if you have a private repo, so you would never do that. And yeah, we want to be able to create this. So another thing that does is it dramatically simplifies the KSAP repo. So when you are, how's it going, Ferris? When you are making an upgrade, you can do a git diff and you can immediately see what changed. I don't know if you remember the earlier videos, but and live streams, but every time I would go to git diff to see what got generated new after I ran my build script by changing value, I changed the value in the values file someplace, and then I would run git build or build, which is just Kate's template command, and that would flatten out this YAML file. And we'd have to sludge through all of the secrets that get regenerated every time you run Helm template. Yeah. Mm. So we need to get Vault on here in order for this to work, and that means this KSAP application is going to assume that you've done that, and I probably am going to add a tool here of some kind to create the initial secrets if it's your first time. So if you've never created secrets in the cluster, you might need to run this extra tool. But I don't want every time you run, you should be able, the whole idea of this KSAP approach is that you should be able to run deploy over and over and over again. So and just have it work. Turn my sound back up. I got to make sure I see notifications from work while we're doing this. So we're gonna get Vault on here, and I don't know anything about it. What is Vault? Vault is a place to put secrets, and that's it. So let's go read about it. Try HashiCorp Vault, download Vault, secure site, blah blah blah. Tokens, password encryption, keys for password secrets. I'm going to see about Vault. See whether it runs better as a Kubernetes application or as a standalone. At work, we have a service within the company that manages it, so we don't even know. We don't care. We just use it. Um, Terraform, Packer, Waypoint, Vault, Boundary. These are console. These are all of Terraform's applications, primary applications. You start in minutes. Create an account. Sign in. No, we don't want to do that. This is a cloud Vault service. So you could pay to use their Vault, or you can download it and use your own. Vault brokers are deeply integrates with trusted identity managers. Yeah, Vault is pretty much the way to do certificates and not certs. Certificates and tokens and things like that need to persist in a cloud environment on-prem or off. So that's what it is. This is interesting. Install Vault for the Mac OS, Brew HashiCorp Vault. So then you have to set up a server. Most people can just install Vault with just apt install. So let's actually do that. So we'll go into the installers for Ubuntu that I have. And I am pretty sure Vault is already here. Nope. So install most things with apt. And I'm going to add Vault to the list. And then we're going to go ahead and do sudo apt. Oh, wait, this is a Mac. Yeah, I don't know why. We add it to Mac as well. Install most stuff with Brew. And put Vault on here too. Oopsie. Vault. Brew install Vault. It's such a mainstream application that it is really regularly it's available from most of the package managers. So Vault exec bash -l Vault. Wait, what? Why didn't it find it? I don't think it actually is Vault. Isn't it something else? What is the Vault command? Oh, you have to do tab HashiCorp tab. Okay. Well, you can't just install it with Brew then. Nope. Install Pomo. Install Vault. Standalone binary runs and everything. Yep. Nice. Linearly than my age. Well, okay. Thank you. Install Vault in Bash. We could just do a go install if we wanted, but we're gonna do Brew tap and call it a day. This is gonna probably get it for us better. I absolutely love Brew. It's so cool. Instead of having to configure repos like you have to do with apt, you just add a Git repo. So cool. Yep. All right, so we should just be able to do vault now. Yep. Okay, so we didn't have the cask. This looks like this looks like it is a Go program. Most HashiCorp stuff is Go programming. Um, so let's go on Bastion and let's go in Bastion and install it as well. Bastion is my local as my Linux machine, and yeah, the other one's my Mac. So we're gonna cd into install. I think I need to add it. Git diff. I'm probably gonna have to add an apt repo here. Don't know though. Git commit add installable. Git push. Now I can pull that down from my Linux machine. Git pull to get the changes. There it is, and we can do sudo apt install vault. I don't know if that'll work. Should though. Nope, it's a snap. Interesting. It's a snap. It's not a thing. That's actually really interesting. So let's do. We're gonna get it rid of. We had to do the same thing that we did with the Mac. So we're gonna have to add an apt thing, or we're gonna have to do a release downloader. Now I have two types of installers. In fact, today I got burned by it because I had to use a jump box and I could not install GH, the GitHub command line tool, using my installer because it assumes I have apt access to it. So I'm probably going to start doing a convention where I have install whatever, and then I have install whatever dash apt. So if you use apt, it'll use the apt. Otherwise, it's gonna be a baseline installer. And the reason for that is I could probably start to break out some of my installers, particularly for things that have standard releases and Go based on architecture and binary, so that they use the same install script, whether it's Mac or Linux. And that's going to think, oh, hell no. No, I'm not doing any Python installs that way. I mean, that might be it, but I doubt it. Is it? I don't even think it's Python code, is it? Where's the source code? I use YQ and YQ Go, both of which are Go. The only YQ you should ever use is Mike Farrow's YQ. The Python one is totally broken. Yeah, I use those all the time. We're going to talk about that actually. I did talk about it actually just earlier today. See, here's how I use MyQ. There's several places in my installer here where I use it. Here I actually take an entire file and move it over. Also strip the comments from it. This is all stuff that you can do from YQ. Well, it's written in Go. I figured, but I wanted to prove it. Yeah. Pretty much everything that matters is written in Go. In the cloud native space specifically. So I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just telling you the facts. You can accept the facts or you can fight with it, but you can't alter the facts. And apt repo practical. We're actually going to do that right now. But I don't like doing that. I like automating that. So that's just my thing, because then I won't remember the next time. There are so many different ways to install things. This is why I maintain my own list of installers, and people can balk at that all you want. I don't give a shit. This is how I do it. It's saved me from so much hassle. I can install everything from a C compiled application. See this technique of grabbing the latest right here? This technique of grabbing the latest release, downloading it, and then installing it is universal, especially if you have the GH command line tool, which is even easier because you can use it to download the binary and you don't have to look up where the release tarball is. So it's much easier to do that. I personally think that the GitHub command line tool is mandatory. I think YQ, JQ, and GH should be on every single system. In fact, I requested that today in a thread at work. I was like, why are we not installing GH on everything? So yeah, we are going to add the APT, which is, if you haven't seen this before, that's exactly what we do. So like if you look at how I install GH, this actually goes and gets the keyring. But you see how much see how much worse this is. This, just compare this to Brew, okay? Brew, you add the cask, which is a GitHub repo, and then you install it. The end. If you want to add a repo, hey, how are you? If you want Nocturnal, welcome.
Nocturnal
If you want to add, this is not a container thing. Is Vault a container thing? No, Vault is just a way to get access to things, but it's used by everything. So here, this I just wanted to show you this really quick because this is why I hate APT. It's better than Snap, and it's slightly better than RPM. But to add a new repo, you have to do this. There's no easier way. To add a new repo to Brew, you do brew cask add and point it to a GitHub repo. It's like, I have no idea why more people have not adopted that approach. I hope eventually APT does that, and AUR is kind of the same thing. But you know, it's just so much easier to add. This is just such a pain in the butt. Vault is a secret store. Yeah. So what we're trying to do, we're writing install just Vault right now. Wait, I have a Vagrant install. Wait, did I change something already over here? I don't think I did. Did I change something? Oh shit. I did change something. I'm worried. Oh, I changed my share to hardware temporarily. Visible storage is true. Yeah, this is me messing around. This is stuff I can revert, no problem. Yeah, this is all stuff I can revert. Okay. Get restored up. Get status. All right, so let's do that. So install git pull, get the latest. Install most things with the app. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to pull Vault out of here. Vault has to have its own file now. Install Vault. But we do need to add the one. I'm glad we looked at the one with GH. We can do install GH and add that to install Vault. This is just the Vault command. This is not the server, by the way, obviously. But important to know the difference. I don't care about BinSH. I'm using bin bash because reasons. However, this is one reason. So this code right here. No, never mind. Take it back. Take it back. So, CLI archive GP keyring DD apt DDOF apt trustee to whatever. That's so weird. It's such a weird command. How you doing, Mr. Bramard? App trustee CLI GitHub CLI archive keyring. GitHub CLI archive. I don't. We're gonna have to go see where the one is for this. AMD, ARM, Mac OS. We're gonna go to the Linux one. There it is. See, there's a way of doing it. Apt releases GPG. They're using wget. You should not use wget. It's shit. I don't like it. Brew is so much nicer. I agree. I totally agree. GPG. Get the share core. User share. Keyrings. De-armor. So they're de-armoring it directly. sudo GPG. Wait, what? That's interesting. They actually encrypted it. That's unusual. People don't do that usually. Echo the keyring thing to app releases HashiCorp. Yep. Sudo apt update app install. Let's use that. I kind of want to see how this differs though. I hate the W-O. Yep. I'm a curl guy. I hate wget. I fucking hate it. Why are you using it? It does so much shit wrong. People use it for the only thing wget does better than curl. The only thing is get multiple files at the same time. People are not going to agree with me on that. I'm gonna catch shit for that. So, output. They're like piping it to GPG, which I think is a bad idea, but whatever. It's a little bit too clever. Samuel sure follow redirects. Split the file contents with any additional noise. Why not just run what? Vault and Docker? Because I don't want to. First of all, I don't have Docker and never will. I have Docker installers I need to delete. I'll never, ever use Docker for anything ever again. And I haven't for a very long time. I still have installers left over for it. If you don't know why, just do a search why Docker is dead. This will download the file. If you don't use the -o option, curl will send the output to std out. Oh, okay. Okay, well, good. There we go. So, also don't like big ass command lines like this. I just don't. I think it's sick and wrong to do that. People do it all the time though. Yeah, we all have our own preferences. So sudo apt update, sudo apt install vault. All right, so this is doing essentially the same thing. Archive keyring. It's doing the same thing. This one is actually sudoing it to DD though. The thing I don't understand here is that this is de-armoring it, and this one is not. I actually think the DD command is a more elegant option here. That I can't remember who I got that from, but I think it's way better. Because first of all, you don't have to decrypt it. You can leave it encrypted. And why would you unencrypt it? I don't understand. So I'm going to leave mine. HashiCorp archive keyring.gpg. This is user share keyrings. App trustedgpg.d. This is way better to do this. Yeah. I'm wondering if that has to be This is probably going to need to be a sudo operation. Yeah, that is sudo, so it's doing dd for that. I'm going to leave the other one in there for a second. Sudo to t. All right, so that is similar to the other one. Depackage print architecture. It's just using a different technique. Deb. Yeah, they're also not using key value options for the deb. Stable main. Signed by. Let's see apt trust.d. Signed by
Igber93 is now following.
Etsy apt. This is way easier to maintain. HashiCore's got to get with the program. It's not often I'll say that. They're usually on top of things. This also doesn't have the architecture. I think I can, instead of doing LSB release, I think I could get away with the Arch command line and do it differently than the LSB release.cs. It's kind of the same thing. Etsy app source.list.d hashcore.list. All right. Dev null. All right, so that is a better way to do this. Let's give it a try. Yep. All right. Sudo t etsy app source list dev null. Sudo apt update. Actually, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do apt install. It says so in the man page. I'm going to show you. Docker is dead as a company. Podman is what I use for everything. Containerd and Podman. Docker is horrible. I want to show you this. I want to show you the big warning. It says right here, apt is intended for the end use of users and enables some options for interactive usage by default compared to more specialized tools like apt-get. And then there is, yep, there's actually a warning. Here it is right here. The apt command line tool is designed for end users that may choose behavior at any time. While it tries not to break back compatibility, it's not guaranteed if it changes to beneficial, blah, blah, blah. All features are available. Dedicated tools like apt-get. Apt just changes the default, blah, blah, blah. In other words, use apt-get. Yeah. You should never, we all do, but you should never put the word apt in a script anywhere, ever. It even says so on the man page. Yeah, I guarantee you people do, but you shall not do that. I did in all my installers. You want to get apt-get. It is officially unsupported behavior to do that. It's officially unsupported to do that. You're supposed to use apt-get. Hosting on a server. Well, yeah. Welcome. Yeah. I mean, I can catch you up. This is on my Proxmox server right here. This is my Proxmox cluster at home. Here, I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in. I'm piping to grep. Yeah, piping to grep is a bad idea too. We all do it, but it's a bad idea. Bad idea. I mean, I guess it depends if you trust the domain. If you trust the domain, it's really not that bad. They're exactly the same. The commands are the same. They're exactly the same. The difference is that their mandate, they will not ever change. The apt commands can change, and it even says explicitly they might change. Why just run Pomodoro on Vault? Because I want Vault to be around. I don't want... Why? Why would I run it in a container? Then I have to have a container engine. I don't hate containers. I just don't understand why you would run your enterprise Vault in a container. And that's what I'm simulating here. So there is a question though, like, should you run Vault in Kubernetes or not? Because if it's going to be running in a container in enterprise, it's going to be running in, in Kubernetes. Chances are. I don't know. FreeBSD, NetBSD, OpenBSD, Solaris, release info. Vault is Vault is actually still one of the services that generally gets run on a VM in a VM by itself. Talking server. These are all just the clients. It's totally different. Yeah, we haven't got to the server part yet. We're just installing the client for right now. And we can try that right now. Install Vault. Enable locate package date update. All right. I think it's install-y. I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? Oh. Yeah, thank you. Just read here in release, the following signatures couldn't be verified. Updating from such a repo can't be done securely as therefore disabled by default. The following signature couldn't be verified because the public key is not available. That's interesting. I would never do that. No, that's a bad idea. I think the reason is that HashiCorp has their own. They did signing differently. I think HashiCorp did signing differently. I do. I think that's the reason. Vault changed its license. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Everybody's using it. Yeah. Vault did change its license. Answer dependencies. There is a Vault operator. We're going to use it today. look, you can't get away from Vault. Vault is core to enterprise technology in 2024. It is almost as important as Nginx. It's seriously important that people get to know Vault and install it. I'm going to try their thing instead of my thing. Um, there's something going on. I think it's because they don't have public keys in keyring outside the world. I don't know. Yeah, that's working now. That's because all right. So what happened was it failed when I just put the GPG in there because the keys that were used to sign it are private. They don't have a public keyring listing. And the GH stuff, they did it right. They used keys that are available, public keys that are available in a public keyring. So that's why the DD technique won't work because the DD technique leaves it as a GPG, and this one de-armors it, which means it turns it into a regular file. Wait, that might just be. I take that back. That might actually. Oh, okay. No, never mind. Okay, I see what the problem was. Um, Unlike GitHub command line tool, the key itself that's loaded in up on the internet for the GitHub command line tool is already a binary file, and the one that HashiCorp stores is not. The one that HashiCorp stores has been ASCII armored, which is probably better. It's probably safer to do that, and so you have to de-armor it. That has nothing to do with where the keys are. I'm realizing now. All right, so that is definitely the way to do it. That's what their docs on their site say. Where you put them is a different issue, and I'm putting mine under Etsy app because it's just easier to manage that way. And response messages, JWT integration with KDBs. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I'm not going to be coding stuff to Vault API, but it doesn't matter because Vault is used everywhere. The main reason I'm using it is because we use it, and all of my Kate apps have to use Vault. So external secret operator. So I need to get that in my working in my cluster. That's the main reason. Anyway, so we have the Vault client installed. I could have done this, just by downloading the binary. Would have been just as fine. But, that's definitely a Go program. All right, so add we need to have install Vault server now. And I don't know where to get that. We have to figure out where to get that now. They're kind of obfuscating where to get the server because they want to sell you a cloud service. I love that they have Homebrew for. See, they have Homebrew for Linux now. Hey, look at how much easier it is. I'm actually seriously thinking of starting to use Homebrew for Linux stuff. It's just so much easier to manage than this. They're one and the same. You run Vault. You run Vault with the server argument. Really? Same binary. Damn, talk about monoliths. I told you I love HashiCorp. I love them. They are so smart. Pretty much everything they do. That's why I want to look at Nomad so much. I'm going to set up a Terraform provider for my Proxmox cluster as well. My friend's got one running. He likes it. So I'm going to try that next. So it's seriously, it's the same thing, huh? Damn. Vault server must specify a config. Where's the GitHub source? I kind of want to. I'm the kind of guy who wants to dig through the source because I can. HashiCorp Vault. I could have guessed that one. Clone HashiCorp Vault. That's my handy dandy clone command. I'm gonna go read the source code. I told you I need Vault because that's what the world uses. And I'm simulating my enterprise environment. So if I had no other reason, that would be it. This isn't a debate about whether it's the best tool. It's the best tool because it's the tool that I get paid to do. And while I might be interested in comparing stuff, and seeing which one's better out there and complaining about it, Vault server -dev. Nice. Phony make files. Phony make files. Here we go. They're not phony. They're not phony. They're actual make files. Damn, this is well done. I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to do tech stuff, study the HashiCorp, except for Vagrant. I haven't looked at the new Go Vagrant. It might be worth looking at. 9 times out of 10, though, if you study how HashiCorp does something, you'll learn a ton. You can't say that about the Kubernetes project or other projects. Yeah. It's a pretty... I mean, if you're going to do a makefile, they did it right. They did it right, for sure. Yeah. Huh. And here's something worth looking at studying. You're a Go programmer, right? Just making sure you understand all the Go build arguments. That's like, this is a production product, and so they have everything in here, including making it a smaller binary and stripping out the debug stuff. Yeah. G said, which said do we have? Age-old program. Oh, age-old problem. Go version, cat, get the Go version. I don't like Vagrant. I tried to like it so much. It's supposedly ported to Go now. It's not Ruby anymore. But all the rules are Ruby. So I like Ruby. I just don't like... I don't... Vagrant, no. These days, Vagrant doesn't really fit. Because if you're going to bother with that stuff, you might as well just set yourself up a Proxmox cluster and then use Terraform or Cloud Init. There's really no use for Vagrant. Maybe there's some use case for, I don't know, people that want to fire up a Windows machine or something, The idea of Vagrant having fluffy clouds with different configurations and stuff, I made a fluffy app to do that kind of thing 3 years ago. I started on that. And I gave that up because I was like, we just use Cloud Init and Terraform or Ansible. So I think Vagrant's kind of gonna, die on the vine there. I don't think it's gonna get used for very much. When tools like Proxmox are out there. Local dev work. Have you used? Yes. I want to try that. I'm gonna do it. I'm just looking. I'm just tooling around here. They have a bat makefile for Windows. What? They put main in the top level. It's very unusual. And also they have a test for main. What the hell? They have a test for the main package. Intentionally empty to force earlier versions to go to test compilations for tests. Okay. Interesting. Would not have guessed that. OS exit command not run. The vault command. So they decided to thumb their nose at all of the command tools like Cobra. They don't like it. Yeah. That's why I like them, because they have taste. They really do. Yeah, they're using their own command line API. Uh-huh. God, it might be, it actually might be, no, it's their own, what? It's their own CLI. They made their own command line interface. That does not surprise me. They're like, we are not using that shitty Cobra. No, they're not. They created their own autocomplete and everything. Wow. Why am I not using this? I should be using this instead of Cobra. I wonder how much better the documentation is than I actually made an entire command line interface that uses Markdown for, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry, it really is. This is mine. This is the help docs that come from mine automatically. These are automatically generated, by the way, from my interface. That's my command line interface tool called Bonsai. As an answer. By the way, you can embed at runtime. You can embed variables at runtime so they get populated. Cobra can do that now, finally. I'd be curious. I'd be really curious to see that they, args is a list of command line arguments, commands, hidden commands, name, version. This is worth studying to see what they've done. Autocomplete flags. I wonder if they set up completion. Vault complete. Completion. No, they don't. They don't have completion. Did they set up their own -C completion? How can I set up completion for Vault? You need to configure auto completion using shell specific configuration. Bash autocomplete -install. What? This will install the autocomplete functionality, but you need to restart your shell. Oh my god. If that fucks with my bash RC, I'm going to lose all faith in Vault. Seriously. I think they're doing what pedantic people do. They don't want to have to run it every time you run the shell. Yeah. God. Baldut. Hallucinating. It might be. Vault. Tab. All right. If this thing touched my bash RC, I'm going to kick it in the head. Oh my god. Okay, they did the right thing. See this? This is the mark of an intelligent programming language or program. They use complete-c, just like Bonsai. God, that makes me love them even more. How would somebody out there have Z Shell? Don't doubt Mitchell. I know. Do any of you have? Do any of you out there have? Does anyone out there have? The thing is so cool. It's like, look at all my Bonsai commands. So my Bonsai commands all have built-in completion, so you can just do its own completion. See this right here? All of these commands use complete-c. They all use complete-c. And so I just have to add Vault saying, hey, Vault is not idiotic. It does its own completion. And I just have to put it there. All these other dumbass programs have to have their completion script generated and written to a file or sourced every time. Because they're fucking idiots. They're all idiot. I'm talking about the script, not the people. They are all fucking idiots, and they don't know how to do their own completion because the people who developed them didn't know about -C because they were inferior developers. And so seriously, including my Klogin, which was forced to use Cobra by the team. I was forced to use inferior technology by my team because everything else over here uses inferior technology. I didn't write my own terminal emulator. How long has Complete been around? It's been around since the beginning of Bash. Yes. And people don't know. But this is such a great example of... I've been ranting about this forever. And for you to see, when I said HashiCorp knows what they're doing, when I tell you that HashiCorp knows what the fuck they're doing, they really know what they're doing, including knowing about C. So now exec... I mean, they did fuck with my bash RC, which is a big no-no, but not too horribly. They just added that one line. Unlike NBM or some shit. Look what NBM does. NBM adds all of this on totally stupidly. Yeah. Anyway, exec bash -l. And so HashiCorp developed their own command line thing that does their own completion. Yeah, so going back to Vagrant. Yeah, I can spin up. I mean, where though? I can spin up a VM with one command or one click in Proxmox. So I don't understand. My point is, if you have Proxmox, why use Vagrant? In Windows? Are you using Windows? I mean, if you have Windows, I see that, I guess. I don't see the use case for it. Yeah, if you have Windows, then you're screwed. But if I would use if I had Windows, I would install the now free VMware, and I would do the same thing from the command line. You know, you can spin up a VM with VMware from the command line. We did that all the time. It's got a really great command line interface. Yeah, Proxmox too. You already have a hypervisor like Vagrant. Why bother with Proxmox? Vagrant is a software. What is that? It's pretty.
You picked.
I like it. It's going above the bed?
Yep.
Nice.
Would you like me to show your viewers?
You want to show my viewers your panties?
See, this is what happens when you use my Kia frame. See the reflection?
Oh, God.
That's why I'm not using it in real
Wait. Oh, God, there we go.
See the reflection?
Wow.
That's why you don't want it in an actual exhibition because you can't photograph it.
Did you buy the cheap frame? It's nice.
Frame, yes.
It's using it's like using the reflective thing. Thank you. You should see all the great stuff in my room. Our house is like covered. The walls are going to be covered in art, including right here. This is empty. There's no art there, if you can't tell. Also, there's a kicker bike, which I haven't set up yet. A gallery show? I don't know. No, that's going in my bedroom. Yeah. It's like one of many. We have lots of original pieces, some of which my wife made, some of which we bought, etc. Um, what were we talking about? We were complaining about bad code. Why are you barking at me? Come here. Say hi. Come and say hi. Come here. Come here. Come here. They can't see you, dork. They'll think oh, there's my naked leg. I have pants on, I promise. What, Sam? Sam, come here. What are you doing? Go out then. Oh, the house is nightmare. Oh, right, because it's, yeah. It's like, it's Halloween. It's Halloweeny. The dog made her parents. All right, well, so fascination is over with that. We're going to run the Vault server. It does make me wonder, how do you keep Vault up and running if it's so easy to run? How can I deploy Vault in an enterprise so that it has high availability? To deploy the HashiCorp Vault high availability, you need to set up Vault in a way that provides failover capabilities, load balancing, and data redundancy. Leveraging a high available backend for storage and considering and coordinating multiple Vault nodes to ensure minimal downtime. Seriously? High availability storage backend. Vault relies on an external storage backend to store data, and the backend must support high availability to ensure the Vault itself can operate in HA mode. The only backend this supports high availability include console, leader election. Console is kind of like etcd. Use Vault Cloud, I know. Integrated storage wrapped. Vault's integrated storage is built in, supports high availability out of the box. Hey, thank you for the follow.
Taiwan 8 is now
Google's
following.
Cloud Spawner console for HA. If you're using console as a backend, it should be deployed as a multi-node console cluster across multiple availability zones or data centers to ensure high availability. Configure Vault with HA storage backend. Here's an example of Vault storage file. It can be reasonable for high availability using console. It's their whole ecosystem thing. One of the things I like about HashiCorp is they generally make stuff that solves a problem instead of just over-engineering random shit. Like Google loves to do. And then they get rid of it. If you use the wrap storage backend, the configuration might look like this. They encourage using wrapped. You heard that? Really? Thank you for that information. Vault data, node ID. Listener for Vault API UI, random. API address for Vault. I wonder, it kind of needs a load balancer. This is one of the reasons why if I could be swayed to not use QBIP for load balancing virtual IPs and then use a different load balancer like HA proxy. Terraform license change, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going around. Nope, no IRL stream tonight. That could easily be answered by looking at the schedule. So wrap seems to be the way to go. If I multiple Vault nodes, there's nothing on the schedule for today at all. So this is just me at work still. Due to viability, you need to deploy multiple vault nodes. These nodes will participate in leader election. This is a console thing right here. Each node will use the same vault HCL configuration. Each node is connected to the same high availability storage backend. All vault nodes must have same storage. I kind of want to look at Wrapped actually. Set load balancer, that's what I was just talking about. So you can use HTTP proxy, Nginx, or whatever. See, this is like you can, accomplish multiple things at once with HTTP proxy instead of using kubeIP. I love kubeIP. I just made a video about it. It takes care of MetalLB and it takes care of broken round robin DNS. But HA proxy would get you the same thing, but then it can also be used to front vault, which is another completely piece of your stuff. Nobody is going to say deploy vault into Kubernetes. Now, there are definitely probably are Helm charts for that, but that would be directly competing against HashiCorp. So HashiCorp is not going to suggest that. They're probably not even going to support it. Yeah. Yep. I'm just reading all this stuff here, and that is yeah. Wrapped must be another one of their offerings. So I worry about HashiCorp in general. I don't think that they are funded enough to stay up. They do not make money. They don't have a money. They're trying to make money. They're going the way of Docker. Docker never made any money ever. It was a cool idea, and I was like, oh, we'll eventually be profitable. Same with HashiCorp. I don't think HashiCorp has ever made money. I don't think they've reported a profit ever in the history of the company. They are super brilliant, but it does make you wonder if they're going to be around, because now they're doing the same thing Docker did. Are they funded by IBM officially? When did that happen? They're going to buy them, and then that will be the end of HashiCorp. Although, IBM bought Red Hat and Red Hat survived, sort of. They'll get purchased if they die. If IBM's not invested in them, they'll buy them. Yeah. You can use your Grafana Prometheus to monitor Vault's performance. Okay. Yes. Standard. What? In April, they announced plans to acquire HashiCorp. Oh, shit. Why am I not working for HashiCorp when they get acquired? Okay, this is what IBM does. IBM acquires things, and then all the smart people leave within a year. Not even kidding. I worked at IBM for 10 years, and I watched it happen with company after company after company. They'll acquire a company to get their innovation. They'll pay off all their senior people so they become multimillionaires. And then they sign these contractual agreements to say they have to be there for at least a year or two. And as soon as that time runs up, they bail. They jump ship and they send these big flowery notifications, the emails that basically say, hey, I'm a multimillionaire now and I'm no longer contractually obligated to work here, so I'm going to go pursue other interests, and they fucking bail. And then within 2 years after that, sometimes IBM can't get rid of the product. In the case of BigFix, they sold it off again. And when they brought BigFix in, they decimated an internal team that was doing the same thing. I know, because I was on the team. I was one of the last men standing on that team. I was 2 people left out of like 20 people, because we were all getting replaced by BigFix shit. And then they sold off BigFix. Now. They sold off BigFix. They're like, no, BigFix sucks ass. I'm like, yeah, that's what we told you. This is just IBM. This is the way of IBM. It's the way of IBM. IBM, for some strange reason, I don't know why, they have invented some of the most amazing technologies. They invented Logical Volume Manager. They invented virtualization. They invented They invented virtualization and logical volume manager, distributed storage. That they invented the PC. You could argue they've invented so many things, a transistor, and they've never gotten credit for it. They've never been able to figure out how to make money off of the stuff that they end up inventing, even if they got more patents than anybody on the planet. It's just so crazy. I don't get it. And yet they get beat by some little flashy company in Silicon Valley, and they'll buy them up because, oh, we can't look bad. And then they make all those people millionaires, and they don't have anything to show for it because it doesn't increase their bottom line at all. It's really sad because, or is it, right? I've been equivalent to a think tank. Yeah, they are just a big, and there's IBM is in bed with every government in the world pretty much so deeply that's why they don't die. They can post billion-dollar losses year after year after year and survive, which they did in the late 90s, and I think it was the late 90s, because they're so freaking big. They've got so much bloat because everybody invests in blue chip. They are literally the definition of blue chip stock. The reason it's called blue chip is because IBM's colors were blue, and IBM was the blue chip stock for years and years and years and years and years. And so people have been dumping money into IBM. They have so much stock valuation that they can take any kind of losses, and it doesn't even affect them at all. They're so big and unwieldy and stuff. And I mean, I worked there for 10, 11 years. So, they see them buying HashiCorp is like exciting and also terrifying but HashiCorp can't make money. They can't. They don't have a profit model. They don't. They literally don't have a product. They do not have a product. They give away all their stuff for free. This is why I think open source is bullshit. If you start with the premise that open source is bullshit and you need a product first, and then maybe you'll contribute some of your stuff out to the world so you can share it, fine. But don't start there. You're not going to make any money. You can't have a company. And the other companies are going to pressure you into releasing your IP because that they can compete. Oh, you're not sharing your IP. Yeah, I'm not. I'm a small company. It's the only thing I have. Meanwhile, the big companies like Microsoft brag to everybody about how open they are, giving away all their licenses for stuff that does not matter. They don't release the licenses and patents for their internal core products, but for all the other big stuff, like, oh yeah, Windows is free now. It's all open source. See how open we are? Why aren't you being as open as us? And then they put marketing pressure on the small guys to go open, take all their stuff, and own them because they're more market cap. It's a standard business practice. It's a standard tech business practice out there. Yeah. Like macOS contributes to BSD. Yeah, sort of. Except for, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. Ask the average person if they know that their Mac computer is actually BSD Unix. They're like, what's that? They have done a very good job taking credit for all of BSD. Look at how great Apple is. Yeah, right. What you really mean is look at how great Unix is. The one that you stole for free and put in next because you didn't have a job because you just got kicked out because of Lisa and you wasted a bunch of corporate funds and you got forced out because you're a fucking idiot. And now you need something to make a company out of. So what are you going to do? The same old thing you always do. Find yourself a Wozniak. This time, though, instead of Wozniak, we'll still Darwin. We'll still BSD, free BSD. And we'll turn it into we'll turn an entire company into that. And then we're going to make 3D stuff. So we're going to beat Silicon Graphics at their own game. They'll bring Microsoft in this. Extended brace sandwich. Yeah. I don't know what we were doing before I got ranty. Okay, we were just talking about Vault and we were looking at it and looking at the installer and stuff. So, I need to bring myself back to admin Next machines. They're great. I love Next machines. I mean, he's really great at marketing. Everybody wanted an Xbox, man. They were like the next best thing. They were so cool. They were just BSD Linux. They were just BSD Unix machines in a fancy box with almost no changes. I mean, seriously, they did not change anything. They cleaned up the UI a little bit. That's what he had to do. Other than that, it was like straight up BSD. It was straight up BSD. Ka-ching! And how much did he sell those for? I mean, he sold those next thing for some ridiculous amount of money. God. Didn't even tell anybody that he was selling. Now, to be fair, no, Silicon Graphics had their own UI, had their own OS. Silicon Graphics had to license their OS. IBM had to license their the AIX from Unix. I don't think he ever licensed Unix from. That's why he used BSD, because it was free, which already is probably the reason he destroyed everybody else, because they had to license their versions of Unix. I would really like to get into that. Sun made their own. Sun built Solaris and was very careful to build their own version of Unix that was 100%. Sun was the new hope because it was, for the common man. It wasn't this big ass Linux, even though it was proprietary. That's why Dennis and everybody still love it, because Sun, before there was an open source, Sun Microsystems was the closest thing. It was actually run by these guys who were still getting free rent at Stanford for their first 2 years that they ran Sun Microsystems. Used to use AX. A lot of people do. Wrapped is just a file on disk. Multiple nodes can be open on the same day. Interesting. Okay. Well. All right. So I don't know what to do here. I don't. Honestly, I got to be. I don't know. In this particular case, I do not need to emulate high availability for Vault. I don't. So just having it running on any machine, really. I could even piggyback on one of my other machines. One of these, I could have it piggyback on one of these. It doesn't need that much RAM at all. So, I mean, other than the name, it would probably work on any of those. I could just run it on Harbor, on Bastion though. Not Harbor. We're not doing Harbor. I'm actually going to get rid of that NS. I think we should probably just install it on Bastion, call it a day, because I don't need it. I don't need to test high availability setting up of Vault. I would never be paid to set up Vault. I would be paid to write APIs and applications that use Vault that are maintained by the center by some team in the enterprise. That is my job. So if your job is setting up Vault and maintaining it and making sure it's HA and you're that, then you might actually want to do that. I don't. So what you're telling me is I'm already ready to run a server because I've got, I'm already here on Bastion. And I wonder if I could just write a service. Sounds like I don't even need that. I've got to learn about Vault. Okay, so we've covered a bunch of bases here. I'm sorry for that rabbit hole for lots of reasons, but I will not be doing anything HA Vault related. I'm just going to run one instance of Vault that's running as a service in my Bastion VM that I will snapshot so that it has backups. That's it. I really don't need anything else. And frankly, that's probably the way to do that, because I can put all kinds of passwords and stuff in there. I can put my GH. Does GH actually have an integration with Vault? I mean, I wish it did. Sounds reasonable, you think? Really refreshing my NixOS knowledge. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to declare to set up KVM domains. Bullcon iOS from Nix configuration. Probably. I would like to do that eventually. My buddy was telling me that he's got all his VMs PXE booting and running Cloud init with Terraform. So he literally it still takes him longer to spin up a VM. I'm actually not inclined to do what he's doing. How you doing, Wolfie? Figure out the auto unseal. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how to run it as a service. Let's ask ChatGPT. High availability backend. You said load balancer. Originally used Vault Enterprise. You know what? This is a good point. If I were going to use Vault, I'd probably use Vault Enterprise. So the thing about Pixie that I'm actually kind of looking at it again for is you guys know I had a big old, lab design with two towers and two racks. And I was frustrated when I got ready to do Pixie booting because the used machines in my environment were not able to Pixie boot without touching them. Which means that if you bring it, this is another reason not to have hardware, my friends. Because if you have hardware, I mean, unless you need the hardware for some reason to test hardware deployment or whatever, but if you have hardware, you have to, every time your power goes out, UPS goes down, hurricane season, whatever, monsoon season in Tucson, you lose it. So your systems will have to go down. So all 16 of those nodes, those pieces of hardware, when they come up, you have to touch every one of them, which means you have to put a keyboard. You have to put a keyboard and a screen on every one to get them to boot, because they will not boot by themselves. There needs to be an interaction with it in order to get it to load Pixie. And now there are some bits of hardware that will Pixie boot, and then you have power on, and you just turn them on, and they automatically Pixie boot when you power them on. But the ones in my lab had to have a screen attached to them. You couldn't just turn it on and have it pull down its thing. So because you had to tell it that you wanted to do a network boot, and that you couldn't set that as a default for some reason in the BIOS. It was a BIOS issue. And that became very frustrating for me. And so I gave up Pixie boot in my network. Why was I thinking of it? I was thinking of it because when you have a Pixie boot, in order to upgrade all the computers in your environment, you take them down and reboot it, and it gets a new image, right? And then it cloud inits and it does its thing. But I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of that anymore after dealing with the Proxmox stuff. I feel like that's not something I want to do. I have been so happy with these templates. I've been making baseline templates, so Ubuntu 24, whatever, and taking and then configuring the template. And then the template has already got all my pre-installed software on it and everything that I already want over there. And yes, I do have scripts to do the installation and set it up, may possibly eventually be Ansible with all that. So I can take a bare bones Debian system and turn it into a node or whatever I want. That's definitely a thing I still want to do. But in my lab, most of the time, I just want another machine right away. And if I want another machine right away, I just tap right here and I do clone and start. And if I do a linked clone, it's instantaneous. And that can all be done from the command line. So given that ability to bring another machine online literally in seconds, I don't feel the need to complicate my life with a bunch of hardware that I would have to Pixie boot. So the only thing my friend was talking about is Pixie boot setup with his VM stuff. The only thing that Pixie boot would get you is, in his case, he uses the same boot mechanism for his Optiplex machines as I would be doing for his VMs and for my VMs. But he likes it because you can do the same thing for both. So he's maintaining a cloud init setup for his Ubuntu stuff that pulls down and gets all the right things, and then he's got his image loaded in Proxmox so that it comes up pretty quickly. He doesn't have to download the image again, and then that comes up, but then he has to run Ansible to go download it and set up everything, right? This snapshotting kind of clone template idea is a little bit easier because you can snapshot something at a particular version and then just go tweak the things that need to be changed: host keys, machine ID, Abahi host daemon, things like that. So I tend to be, right now I'm being very strongly influenced to stick with the data center approach of Proxmox as opposed to I don't even know if I'm going to need Cloud Init at all. It's not that hard to set up a Debian system and run through the interactive installer to get the first image. That is not hard. That takes 20, 30 minutes at tops. And after you have that image, you can just clone it instantly. And if I were to have to tweak the Cloud Init thing every single time, I'd have to be maintaining the Cloud Init stuff. So I'm not a fan of the Cloud Init stuff at this moment. It doesn't mean I don't like it. The other thing I like about not getting married to Cloud Init is that my approach in Proxmox works for any OS. And somebody told me the other day that Cloud Init works for all Linux OSs, and that's fine. But my approach also works for Windows. Cloud Init doesn't, as far as I know. So, and that it is possible that I want to bring up one or two Windows machines in my environment. So I bring one up, I snapshot it, and then I can bring it up again. You know, so I'm more a fan of the VM snapshot and clone kind of approach and automating that than I am the others, at least from a home lab. XTP, I think approximately may have more mature cloud init support. Yeah. Resourcing me all the hardware. I don't know. And XTP's got kind of the same thing. I mean, they both have API interfaces to them. They both have Terraform providers. And again, if you're gonna rather than use Cloud Init, you should probably use Terraform, right? I think I haven't got there yet, but I think that's probably if I don't need any of this stuff. That's the other main thing here is I don't need it. I just need something that works, which is why let's go back to our Vault install. All right. We're installing Vault on Bastion. So where's my Bastion? All right. So wait, what? How come I don't have any? I'm just going to kill these. These are left over from before I killed my machine. All right, so let's go back to. Did I save everything? Oh, I added Vault for completion. What? Bad Rob. All right. So install Vault. We have Vault installed. We have Vault completion. Vault lease policy. You're saying somebody said serve server dash dev or whatever. I want to know how to make it into a service. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, how can I make Vault into a service on Ubuntu? I think there might actually already be .service files for this, and I'm just going to encapsulate those in my install Vault script. If you haven't installed Vault, go ahead and download it. Re-download Vault, curl, blah. Version with the latest. I'm probably not going to use the APT. I keep having this problem of like not wanting to use the APT. There's three ways to do an install. Use the APT install that comes with the distro if it exists. If it doesn't exist, add one using the method I did for Vault. And the other method is to get the latest via the releases from GitHub using a script. It's very easy to do that. And I've codified that pretty well. And actually, sometimes you want both methods because you sometimes like on a system, like for example, when I do go install or YQ install, it installs into local bin on my home directory. If I were to do the app thing, I'd have to have access to the system on which I don't at work because it's a Bastion host login machine for multi-user. Having your home lab be ephemeral, right? I think you're right. I think it does need to be an ephemeral home lab. I really do. Mine is not. It's kind of pseudo ephemeral, right? Like it's ephemeral enough that right now it is set up to do this Kubernetes stuff. But as soon as I get a free second, I'm gonna rip it all down and bring it back up as fast as I can. Probably with MetalLB and HA proxy just to see, right? That's what's so great about it. In fact, I don't even need to do that. I can actually set up another cluster. But I'm glad you mentioned that because I get kind of losing my way here. I don't want to become too dependent on my home lab. I want it to be able to be something I can bring up and down anytime. All right, so unzip. But by the way, if I had hardware, can you imagine how long it would take? I don't even want to imagine how long it would take. That's why Pixie booting is so important for hardware. If you have a hardware lab and you just want to take it down all the nodes and put a different OS on them, you have to touch every one and load a USB stick and boot off of it. That is it. Unless you put Pixie on there or something that'll boot, that's why people just put some like bare bones virtual environment on there to boot into, like a hypervisor-ish kind of thing, even if it's a small. Hardware is no. I'm like superly actively against hardware in the home lab right now, unless you have a need for hardware learning, unless you really need to learn hardware. I just feel like it's. I don't think you get a big enough bang for your buck. Create a configuration file, Vault HCL to define how your vault should be. GPUs is probably a thing you would need for. Create a vault configuration. Etsy Vault D, HCI, listener. Storage backend. This stuff uses file storage, but you can configure the backends like console AWS. Listener Vault listens on TCP port 8200. Ensure you enable TLS in production. Yeah, no shit. Can you imagine sending all your secrets unencrypted? I'm setting that up. I can't. I'm going to need to make my own provider for the TLS stuff. But quite frankly, I need to do. I went 2 years ago. I went through an entire root CA thing. I made my own root CA for my home, and then I put my root CA. I updated my Chrome certs even, just to simulate running a root CA. Not the kind of thing that you need to practice very often, but doing it once was kind of interesting. So yeah. And you see I commission RPI in my lab, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a lot of image, I think if you get hardware crazy, you can end up spending all your time doing hardware administration. I don't even want to change the motherboard in my other tower that broke. I could have easily just swapped the motherboard out, which I probably will do, but instead I bought a new machine because I don't have time. It's like I need shit that I can practice deployments on and write code. So again, comes back to what you're doing with your home lab. Listener vault values, blah, UI. Create necessary directories for vault data configuration. Then move your vault HCL configuration file to HD. Create a vault systemd service file. This has got to already exist. This reminds me of when I made our containerd installer. Yeah. And then somebody told me that there's like an apt repo for containerd that's not dependent on Docker. And I was like, oh damn. You can write a code to do all this. I have almost all this code written in containerd already. Add the content. I actually do kind of like setting up the services for systemd because I've never gotten into what systemd does and how it's configured because systemd. But it's worth knowing about. Execute start, specify user group, limited memlock infinite. We have like a fly in my room. We have lots of flies in our house. My wife leaves the door open all day. Restart on failure, ensure the vault service restarts. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Create a vault user group. Seriously? We might as well just make an RPM for this. You know, I could do that. I used to do that for Red Hat for our team. I'd made tar GZs and then I would wrap those in an RPM. That's what I used to do. I kind of want to make an APT package. I haven't done it yet. I could make an APT package in live server. I could go set up my ID on live server again. I still have an ID over there. Or should I just make it a brew keg? A Linux brew keg. That actually might be more fun. You know what's cool about that? I would learn how to do brew distribution, and I could I could like distribute my Twitch integrations with Brew. I could distribute. I could distribute my. Oh my god! I could distribute my Skillbot in Brew. Yeah. Can you use Brew on? This is a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. I have to chase down this truth. Can Homebrew be used with Windows Direct? If it can, I am so doing this. For you guys might even get Skillbot back. People haven't seen Skillbot since 2017. Skillbot is this like interactive agent that runs on your system and watches everything you do, your keystrokes. It's really kind of invasive, right? But you can read the source and compile it yourself. There's nothing dangerous in it. And then it in a separate tmux pane, it literally tells you what your sort of gives you little hints and times you and looks at your history. It's really cool. I used that as skill set for like 4 or 5 years. I kind of want to start that project up again. Yeah, I really do. So Homebrew cannot be used directly on Windows. It's primarily designed for Mac OS and Linux. However, you can use Homebrew on Windows by leveraging the Windows subsystem for Linux. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could just you could install a VMware Linux machine, and then you could just use Brew on there. Truth is that the Skillbot doesn't need it just runs. Yeah. At one point, I actually had it on a service. I was thinking about putting it as a service so you could connect to the port and then you could just watch it. And then it would be running as a service on, you could just telnet in, it would show you what your status was. It was all unencrypted because it was designed to just be kind of a dashboard, a terminal-based dashboard. That's very important. You know how you can like go watch Star Wars in ASCII art? You use SSH to a thing and you have Star Wars ASCII art. That's what this was. So it set up a service. You just connect to the service, and then it would show you your thing. And the thing that's cool about that is you could actually do it from a tmux pane, or somebody else, a teacher, could like monitor you while you're doing your stuff and see what you're doing. Good old telling Star Wars, yeah. It's only like the first 3. It's not even very long though. It's not the whole movie. There is no Homebrew. Steps use Homebrew on Windows via WSL. No. WSL is a big no. Big old no. Yeah. I mean, I can still do Skillbot on Windows. The whole reason for doing it in Go is so I can make a binary that you could reinstall on Windows. So what I would do is I would just install it directly onto Windows. And the reason for that is because I can make Skillbots that are Windows specific. Like, for example, teaching you how to use the find command on Windows, which is the most powerful command in all of the Unix command line. And stuff. All right, so it doesn't look like there is a service you can install, which unfortunately that means I'm going to be writing one because that's just how I am. I'm going to be writing one. So unless somebody can find it for me. So there is no, let's see. There is no Vault service that is already set up in APT package. I just want to be really clear. We could go look on the internet too. No, the official Vault package installed via APT on Ubuntu does not come pre-configured as a service. While HashiCorp provides an APT repository for installing Vault, the service is not automatically set up during installation. You still need to manually create and configure system use service for Vault. And here it's going to tell me everything. Based on this, I actually don't want to install Vault using APT anymore, because I'm already going to be setting up the service and downloading anything using the thing. And the other reason for that is because, let me think about this. What's to prevent me from running Vault locally on a multi-user system just for myself? I don't think there is anything, right? This is an important question for me. Now, in my case, if I did that, I would probably get flagged by their security team eventually. Our multi-user login bastion machines do not prevent people from running servers there, which I think is a security vulnerability, but whatever. Because anybody can pop up, they can run a binary and, put it behind NoHup or Tmux or something, and it'll continue to run even when they're not there. And quite frankly, that's what people are doing to use VS Code with the VS Code plugins. So, there's lots of downsides to that. I mean, because that's just like a ton of attack vectors that are just getting opened up and they're just there. There's seriously, you could go on the system and fire up an unencrypted netcat and just create a backdoor into the system that completely bypasses SSH. There's nothing preventing that. And so yeah, I'm going to come back to this one here pretty soon. So what does that mean? That means the only reason I went down that thought process is I was trying to ask myself, do I want to depend on systemd services for this installer or not? And I think the answer to that is yes. I'm almost positive somebody, this by the way would be a really great reason to make a container for Vault, right? At the very beginning of the stream, everyone's like, why don't you just run a container that's got running Vault in it? And the answer is storage. Number one answer. You can't do that unless you're going to mount. I'm sure there's probably a Docker Vault image already that mounts a volume and just keeps all the stuff in there. And then you wouldn't have to do an install at all. You can just run the Docker process. And quite frankly, that might be something in Proxmox that we could test, because Proxmox has the ability to add a container in the host system. I've never done this. Let's try this. Let me see what up here. Can you see it? You can't see it. It's like it's right there. It's right under. It says create container. It's kind of hidden. So we're going to create a container over here. I've never done it. I think this is using whatever container engine on the underlying host. So general LXC container home host name. Does it use LXC straight? It uses direct LXC. Shit, that's awesome. So the host name is here. Wait, what? Why would it say host name? It's not a host. Create an LXC container directly. It's pretty good. Yeah. I was just going to say, password. Template. No. I have a feeling I could probably pull down a Vault LXC container. Are LXC containers OCI compliant? I suppose they would be, right? Oh, this is like what node to put it on. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. So this is a direct LXC container. I have never done that. This is interesting without a container engine. You could probably argue that's a bad idea. You probably want stuff that's CRI compliant, like anything you could use CTL with, because you couldn't manage the container at all here. You just have to connect to it. This is cool though. Yeah. This give you. Yeah, I don't think I want to use that. I probably want to use a container engine in myself. Now I could, I could set up a static pod that's running it, or I could run a vault in a pod. Typically 3 to 4 seconds. Yeah. You know what? This is actually a really good chance for me to use local host path storage and set up my own storage persistent storage class to run Vault in Kubernetes. Yeah, I think I'm going to try that. I most enterprises would not put Vault into Kubernetes, but I think you could probably do it. Putting Vault in Kubernetes means that I don't have to do the service kit. Rather than writing an okay, there's a couple of ways we can go here. One of them is I can put it in a container, an OCI compliant container, and I can set up the Kubernetes so that that uses node path storage, so that it's retained, PVC instead of PVC that gets blown away. And then I can just run Vault. I can run Vault as a pod in my environment. Yeah. And the ironic thing about that is that you'll need if it's not, you need to run that in your management cluster, right? Because if you need authentication and certs and stuff from Vault, you get a chicken and the egg situation, right? So isn't it a bad idea to run Vault as a K8s pod, since K8s actually needs it? I think this would probably be a bad idea. Yes, deploying HashiCorp Vault as a Kubernetes pod can present challenges, especially if Kubernetes relies on Vault for secrets, which it does. So it sounds like that your secrets manager service is the last holdout of the statement, thou shalt not put your major services in Kubernetes. And it used to include databases. Before stateful sets and stuff like that, the running Postgres or any database inside Kubernetes was considered a bad practice. And that's changed. It's completely changed now. So, but this is one of those services that the Kubernetes actually needs. Same with DNS, right? You never put your main corporate DNS servers in Kubernetes, even though Kubernetes comes with a DNS already built in. This creates a potential circular dependency because Kubernetes might need Vault to run its access secrets, but Vault itself may depend on Kubernetes for its runtime. Let's break down the reasons why this can be done. Kubernetes is Vault secret management, encryption keys, certificate generation. Vault is generating Kubernetes. Yeah, we don't want that. If Vault relies on Kubernetes, I already know the reasons this is a problem. A bootstrap problem is a bad one. Use auto unseal. To avoid manual intervention after restart, you can enable auto unseal using the cloud KMS service like blah. Auto unseal allows Vault to automatically unseal itself after it starts, reducing operational complexity when Vault needs to restart. This is something that I wanted to get my head around. You were talking about unseal earlier. Unseal configuration with AWS. I think the unseal stuff is taken care of by the Kubernetes Vault controller. So I don't think that I need to worry about that as long as I'm accessing the secrets from within Kubernetes. What else would you typically keep out of Kubernetes? DNS, DHCP, some databases, some high performance databases you would never put in there. The CA stuff, yeah. Your core CA. You're talking about CA generation, or just your main certificate authority? Yeah, no. Usually you have like a provider, like a CA provider, like an identity provider, IAM stuff. Yeah, that stuff does not go in there at all. No. Some people, however, have been putting stuff like that into what they call a management cluster. But then what happens when the management cluster has a problem, right? So For a long time, people would have argued against putting your registry, your container registry, and artifacts into Kubernetes, but that's changed. That's what I wrote. I wrote the whole Harbor thing to do that. But we're struggling with the very problem, which is persistence of the images after a reboot. If you restart the cluster or undeploy the application, you lose all your registry data. 15 terabytes of registry data, poof. Isolated third-party CA doesn't typically matter. Yeah. Yeah, and then you have to have a management cluster for management cluster. I know, right? It's crazy. Welcome to IT. At least you have a job. Yeah. You guys are funny. You're funny. Hey yo. We need that. We need that as a clip. Yeah, no. We don't need to unstill. I don't need to unstill anything because I just don't. I don't think I do. All right, back to where we were. So we need a VM to run it on. I'm just going to run it on Bastion, which means that we're back to creating an installer. So the rest of this day is going to be me creating an install vault that actually adds the server as well. Right. So I think this should be, I think we need, I think I need to make another one. I think I should have another one called install vault server. Right. Copy install vault. Install vault service. This is why learning to code is a good thing. If you ask me, install vault. Actually, no, we're just going to detect vaults as the vault is there or not. Dash E vault. No, dash N command dash V vaults and echo. Should we do some red? Should we do some fancy red? I know you want to. Red magenta. You know what I don't like about this is it won't let me print it. It's my only annoying thing. Beep boop beep beep boop beep beep boop beep 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 doo. Well, not found. Do 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 do. You know what? Shell scripting makes me very happy. I don't know why. It just makes me happy. And then I start singing. Bum, 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 bum. It's very weird, I know. Let's see if that works. Install Vault service. Gosh, dang it. Gosh, dang it. Hmm, 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 hmm. Hmm, 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 hmm. Is there a Volt? I think there is. No. Or is it dash? Man test. If you don't remember them, just do man test. I know I wrote Volt on purpose. Because I'm testing it, detecting whether it lists, and it doesn't, and it's not there. It's in, right? How come I'm... oh, there we go. Non-zero is Z. Ugh, I'm so dumb. I'm dumb. Sometimes I'm dumb. I knew that. I knew that. Oh boy. Do 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 do. Next, what's shell check? You know what? I got a fix here. It's not showing my memo. It's not doing my automated shell checking in Grail. Something's not right. I'm not quite sure why that is. How can I get shell check? I'm missing something from my other config that it does automatically. How can I get shell check to run automatically while editing a shell script? I have Ale. I think Ale's just not configured right, and I must be missing something. Yep, use the L plugin. I think then run plugin install. Did it not do plugin install? Oh, there it goes. Did it not have it? Hey, thank you for that follow. Kotlin.
Kotlny_ is now following.
Let's see here. What does it not like? Blah equals. This is an error. It should normally give me an error for that. Gosh dang it. It's not working. Is shell check not on here? Why isn't it working? It's been working all along. Fantastic. No. I feel like it's working on my Mac, but it's not working on my Linux machines for some reason. Nope. You know what? I have it working. I swear I have it working. It's on Anton. It's working. I wonder if Anton's still on. Are you still on, Anton? Nope. Anton's dead. Anton's my VM on my Windows machine, and I don't use for anything but Zwip now. Oh god. Ooh, do 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 do. I have Spotify on here. Do 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 do. Ugly Windows. I gotta have this up because this is how I'm gonna do my IRL streaming eventually. Éventuellement. Événement. L'un de ces jours. Il n'y a pas de Anton là. Il n'est pas là. Oh, this machine got rebooted. Yes, sir. Yeah, OBS got killed. I'm guessing it was when my wife plugged in the air filter. Re-updated VMware is available. How about no? Alright, Anton is on. Anton's yet another VM. That is all. Let's go ahead and quit Real and CD Viewer. We don't need that anymore. And we should be able to Anton. Should go into Anton for a second. Why am I going over here? Because I want my stuff to work. Install Volt. Did I spell right? Oh. Why are you not file complete? Oh. Save. Yeah. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do. And it'll complain. Why are you not I broke it, you guys. I broke it somehow. It's not complaining. It's supposed to be live complaining in real time. I broke something, which means that I made a change that was not present in my configuration. Oh well. I don't want to use it when I shave. I wanted to. I must have turned it off somehow. How could I have turned it off? I turned it off. I do not know how I turned it off. It was been working forever, and now it is not. VimRC. Not compatible. No instance. No flash. This is the thing that keeps it from doing the thing. Number ruler show mode. Is Ale turned off? Wait, what? Where are my Vim plugins? There they are. There's it. There's L right there. Wait, is it because plug's not detected? No, plug's detected. Groovebox Sinsky actually practical with a AL already installed. I need to look at somebody who knows what they're doing. These were totally using before, and they're not working anymore. I wonder if they work on Go stuff. What do I have that's Go related? What can I download this Go related really fast? Pomo. There we go. Go install binaries to fix it. Yep. Yes, sir. There's no Go on here at all. There's no Go here. People that like NeilVim because the language server is not dependent on Go. Go put a built-in language server into the application from the very beginning. So even before Vim added Go language servers. So yeah. Could not find. That's not good. Is it because there's no Go here? Stuff's broken. I don't know what. There's other stuff that's broken though. It does make me wonder if, because L's using Go, maybe that's interfering with the other. I doubt it, but I doubt it. So install Ubuntu. Install Go. It's gonna download Go and install it. This puts the version of Go into the user local bin. Exec bash shell, which Go. I can probably do the install now. I know. I've been wanting to set this up, and so let's do it. Go install. The plug install is supposed to do this, actually. Yeah. If I have not found installing Go, right for later. Yeah, there's like a ton of things that there's a lot of stuff that has to be downloaded to use a Go with Vim. There's the language server. I need to put some stuff on there anyway. Probably should snapshot Bastion after this. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, was that solution was to use the HTTP and DNS mask on the registry node? DS through DC once you decided to OpenShift and List Robert. Oh, interesting. Wanted to use their Vert solutions primary, so we had issues in our gateway. Oh yeah. Yep. It's been as I tend to be that way too, Charles, but I'm kind of in between that and a NeilVim user. Because I am a developer, but you know what I mean? I fit kind of in the middle of that, you know. I'm not a full-blown NeoVim user because honestly, NeoVim doesn't do anything I want. It really doesn't. I have yet to find anything that NeoVim does that and if, by the way, if I found something, I would use it. If I found something, I would use it because NeoVim can be independently installed. So I found that out recently. You can put NeoVim as a binary in your .local bin and tell everybody to screw it. You want to use that instead. In a multi-user environment, you can do that. I don't think you could do that with Vim as easily. I think Vim still has dynamic library dependencies to compile. I don't think you can statically compile Vim, but I do not know that for sure. Yeah. I have not recently gone through looking up all of my things. I don't think Vim, I don't know. I don't know, but I remember VI, that was a problem, right? You could not statically link. So you couldn't install the binary in your own bin. This is wasteful, you know. I don't know if you noticed, but all of my stuff is installing into my own local bin. And the reason for that is because some of this stuff, I use it on a multi-user machine. So I want my specific version. Is it a redundant copy? Are there literally hundreds of redundant copies? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't care because I want to use it. Right now I have this problem with the GH tool. My installer for the GitHub command line tool is having a problem. Let's actually break something here. There we go. See, that's Ale doing its job. That's what it's supposed to do. That's Ale giving you your inline error and then having it fix it. That is supposed to work with Shell as well. So that's what what I don't understand is why it's not working for it. Shell check is supposed to be doing the same thing for Shell, and I don't know why it is not doing that. I kind of want to know because it was super helpful. It was so helpful to get all my shell check stuff in real time. Oh my God, it was so great. And I lost it somehow. I do not know how. Pre-commit hooks. Yeah, no. NTR, all these are great, but no. NTR, I love it. Use Ale or Syntactic. I do not understand. Why would my Ale shell check not be working? Let's see what ChatGPT says. Did you see the guy who got the Pulitzer Prize for his AI development was like throwing Mr. AI, OpenAI under the bus? Real-time shell check sounds badass. It is. It's totally fucking badass. I want to show it to you. It is so cool. In fact, I was using it all the time, and then it just disappeared. And I actually don't know what broke. I really am afraid that I had a configuration that I didn't save in my DAW file someplace, which is the kiss of death for a guy like me. That's why I am so diligent about keeping all my DAW files in sync. What? Lintench isn't running. Shell check can even be expected, and there are several possibilities. Shell check is on, yeah. 1.2, got it. On macOS Brew, got it. Wait, what? You have to explicitly add it as a linter? Really? Maybe that's what I had added and then I got deleted on accident. I bet you I did. I did! Oh my God. Thank you, ChatGPT. Hopefully you're not full of shit. Or you're not hallucinating, whatever that... Why can't they just say it? You're full of shit. They have to create this like politically correct way. I love how they do the whole new line thing. That's kind of interesting. Is that because you can't have stuff on new lines with Vim? People, one of the critiques that I totally agree with is that Vim script sucks ass. And it's not that bad, but it is definitely bad. You know what I mean? People really hate on it for that. Look at that. This is a good example of how Vim script sucks ass. It really is. You cannot put stuff on multiple lines. Yeah. So that means I have to do it here. I have to use this technique of, I mean, it's so stupid. Right? I mean, isn't it stupid? I think it's stupid. It's just bad. Yeah. Is it worth giving up, you know, being able to run all over the place? Probably not. It really depends on how easy it is to install NeoVim. Does anybody know? Can I you know what? I could be convinced to use NeoVim. I seriously, God, the whole universe is going to fall apart. If I start using NeoVim and start making friends with TJ, who hates me. We raided TJ the other day and like radio silence. So the dude hates me, man. He fucking hates me. Because I was criticizing NeoVim. I was like, what the hell? Why would you use it? You use NeoVim nightly? Really? But I want to know, so you actually, do you install a new binary every time? If installing a binary is as easy as for me just running install and then using it from user.local, I could get behind that. I could get behind it. I would use NeoVim and then I would just remember all my Vimisms and stuff. Add the repo and apt install. No, you can't do that. I can't do that on my multi-user. The reason is why I'm not doing it. Because I need a binary I can input in .local bin. Because on a multi-user system, I want it. Whatever it is that I end up using, I want to be able to copy that over and have it work. And have all my have one configuration file. Is all my stuff fit in a configuration file or do I have to have multiple configuration files? This is a major, major requirement. I don't want to fuck around with setting up Vim. No, it's not time for Nix. Not if you have a job. No offense, but show me one company that's paying you to use Nix. I have a multi-user system with thousands of users. I want to use NeoVim. What do? Ask my admins to install NeoVim? Yeah, right. I want to install it in .local bin instantly, and I want one configuration file, the equivalent of the vimrc. When I can get up and running on any system. I can get up and running on any system at all, Unix or Linux or Mac, or even Windows, by copying three things: vimrc, tmuxrc, and bashrc. That's it. I don't need to copy anything else over to any system. Almost every system's got Vim already installed and bash already installed. That's it. That's all I need to get going. You can have Lua in your local and compile NeoVim to use Lua installation. Yeah, but how many files? How many configuration files are there? Just one you can use something. You can use your existing config rename to init.vim. And it understands vimrc? Does it understand vimrc? Yeah. You may see a day where I actually convert over to it. I have actually thought of it before. If it crosses the line of being, you know, if only supports Vim scripts. Seriously? Damn. Well, okay. I'm losing reasons not to use it. Still, why would I use it instead of Vim? I'll tell you what. If this Gale linters, if it has better linters and it has the built-in, you saw how long it took for me to install the Go syntax highlighting, right? The LXC. I mean the language server. The built-in language server could convince me to use it because the completion is way better. But you know, that would be it. I am not opposed to using it for a while and seeing if it brings something to the table that Vim does not have. It's the same Vim config for NeoVim. Although the Lua config files are much more convenient. Can you have a Lua config and a Vim script? So can you have like all your really cushy stuff in your Lua config file and then have all your essential Vim stuff in a single file? Okay, that's ideal. You see why that's ideal? Let's say I have to get on a machine learning system and I have to do some configuration over there, or I'm on an endpoint or I've hacked into a system, any number of reasons. I want to get the Vim I want to get that Vim over there as fast as possible. In fact, I can see an argument for using NeoVim if it's a statically linked binary. Why? Because if I hack a system and I want to get over there and I want to be able to use it and I don't have ed or whatever, then I could actually copy the binary over and copy over a single RC. But the reason to use it to have all your main stuff in a master RC file is if you're on a system that only has Vim, you can just still do that. You put conditionals in your Vim RC that says, okay, I got it. But if you are on your nice cushy, development, nest, then you could like have an additional file that's this nice happy cushy Lua that's got all your plugins and stuff. Now, why would I do that? Because that way I would only have to transport 2 files, right? My Lua file, my VimRC to get my nice cushy environment, editing environment. Now, the reason that I haven't gone that way is because that kind of thinking actually applies to everything besides Vim. So beyond your bash RC, you might want some other stuff. So it's actually more beneficial to you to create a monolith binary. Thank you for that, Paul. It's actually more beneficial to you to create a single monolith binary that configures your entire system that has all that stuff built into it. That's actually better, because then if you want to get up and running on a remote system instantly, you copy one binary over, you use whatever your cushy commands are to instantiate that user account, and those things all come with you in a single binary. That's why I made Bonsai, by the way, for that purpose primarily. And that's really great for hacking. It's great for operations. It's great for running a container pod inside of a space where you want all your stuff, but you don't want to initiate the pod. ManifUseFS with all your personal dependencies. No, fuck that. You kidding me? Yeah, and get immediately caught. No. But yeah. Anyway, so, but here's the thing. One of the reasons I'm thinking about using NeoVim and dropping the Vim like marriage that I have is because I can actually ship NeoVim. I could ship the NeoVim binary inside of my monolith. I could bundle, so in my Z monolith, you guys know about my Z monolith? I could in my Z monolith, which you already have an entire resource fork inside of your binary. You can people are using this to ship entire websites that are launched from the binary that also serves the website. It's really fucking crazy cool. The way that Go can actually it's a lot like Apple applications that have their own resource fork inside of them. You can make Golang monoliths that have that. They have all these resource files in them, and those can be binary. They can be binary resources. So you can ship your entire fucking rootkit. Yeah, embedding template folders. Absolutely. So in Go, you could literally ship your entire suite of scripts and utilities and everything, and all of the binaries that you need, including NeoVim, inside of it. So let's say you hack a system, or you just want to get on a system and debug it or have it up and running immediately, and you don't want to pull your entire cloned repo of dot files, right? You can build all your dot files into this single monolith, and then you copy the one monolith over there, schmod it to executable permissions, run setup on it, and it'll fucking do the whole thing for you. It'll build an entire environment for you, including installing in .local bin your NeoVim or Emacs for that matter. So that's actually a really, really, really cool dot files replacement that I am very strongly considering building. And the reason I want to build it is because I want to show operations and security people alike how easy it can be to get up and running with all your favorite things on any target instantly. And that if and when I go that route, I might ship NeoVim with the whole thing. I've actually thought about writing my own version of Vim in Go, because it's not very complicated. It's not. I thought about writing my own version of Vim in Go as a subroutine, and then they can directly import it. It makes it more interesting. Yep, a lot of people like org mode. Yeah, a lot of people like org mode for things. Yeah, it's good for different things. We're gonna say shell check. Bash. I don't know. I guess there's K shell. All right, was that enough? I think that might have been enough. It's not doing it. It no work. It no work. Oh, for the .sh files? Does it have to have .sh? Wait, what? Also check the linting is on. That should have been on already. And org Jira, I absolutely. The Emacs community is like kick ass. You can't lie. You can't lie about that. They're really really good at what they do. They really are. I really think they are. Wait, what? Did I not save it? Oh my god, Rob. I was on the wrong system. I'm gonna build my monolith. I'm gonna build that shit. I'm gonna make that. I tried to learn Emacs like for one day, and then I was like, no. And I got nothing bad to say. I used to joke with people in Emacs, but I got nothing bad to say to them. They're usually really talented. They usually live in like C code all day. Yeah. God damn it. Oh shit. There we go. Damn it. It's not working. It's not working. This is actually one of those things I probably wouldn't have to mess with if I was using NeoVim. So I've said it before, if you can give me a good reason, I'll try it. I feel like they changed the behavior of it somehow. Honest to God. I think these things, they changed the values. I think they changed the default values. I'm just in ChatGPT, which is a bad idea. It should not be. You know what, though? You might be onto something, though. Because it might not be detecting it because I would have bin bash instead of user local bin bash. And that is, you have to have a custom file type detector for that. A lot of people add extensions just for that, which is a bad idea. Super bad idea. Let's check. Well, no, it's telling you right there. There's the type right here. That's the type. It's a bash file. It's detecting the type correctly. It's just not doing it. It's not filing it off. Check the lint status. Ale info. Okay, that's the thing. Did not know that. God, ChatGPT is so useful. I'm just gonna say it. Kernel type bash available enters none. I installed ChatGPT. What the hell? Remove trailing lines from MySpace. What? Did that say? Which file type? It didn't find a linter. Which file type is detect? Make sure it's detected. S for station. Which filters are enabled for that type? Look, I shall check in the output. The active linter, then there may be an issue with your configuration. Ensure file type detection is working. We know it is because it's bash right there. Check whether your detect file type in Vim by. Oh, you know what? You know what? I bet the file thing. Oh, have fun. That'll be fun. I bet the file type detection is happening after that. If the file type is not SH for shell scripts, then A will know that everyone shall check. I can read for set. I'd have this. Shell check works manually. Did that. Check L installation. Plug update. They're all up to date. Check your clicking plugins. No, we don't have them. Yeah, I think. Well, you saw it. It didn't know what to do. Yeah, let's do VeniSage. Oh, there we go. Okay, so VeniSage had found it. This is what I was expecting. Yep. And if we do bash, there, it's active. Wait, what? It changed the file type to shell now. It's just not activated on the shell command. That's interesting. You know, that's it. The more recent systems that I have report the file type as bash instead of sh, and so my Yale was not, and so this happened on all the systems that I updated. That's the reason. That's the reason. Now I know. So because when they updated Vim, they probably made bash its own file type finally, and I actually have. There it is. File type is bash set whatever, right? I should probably put sh too. Actually, no. Sh is supposed to be tabbed indentation. Yeah. No extent tab. So this was added because we do not want tabs for that. So my bash detector, this line right here is not getting registered somehow. Yeah. Interesting. So I think it's because the file type is after. My file type detector for that particular type is like after, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have some code that does bash detection. Let's actually see if it doesn't want to change. I'm not changing the name, but if I did, would that fix it? If so, that means it's an order of operations thing. Install Vault service to install Vault service. God, God, it takes so long. Dot bash. I don't know where the latency is coming from. Yeah, it's not picking it up. It's not picking it up. Available enters none. Yep. If I change this to SH, it'll work though. Oh wait, it overrode it. All right, there we go. L info. There we go. Check it. Bash 8, C spell, language, blah, 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 blah. Language server shell check. Enabled linters, shell check. Why? What's bash 8 about? All right, so that means the Gale is not doing its thing. It's picking it up wrong. That means that... I don't know what that means. Should suggested fixers fix SH files with SHFMT? Yes, I want that. Remove trailing lines? Yes. All right, how do we do that? That means there's something available wrong in my config. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. I am going to get to the bottom of this if it kills me. All right, you see how it says user bin bash? Yeah. User bin bash was not a thing. I wonder if user bin bash is fixed. I doubt it. And now I had to debug it though. That's so important. Wait, is it? What is it? Is it Gale info or Ale info? ALE. Whoopsie. Bash, no linters. Okay, shell bash. It's whatever this is, it's not working. Yeah. I wonder. I wonder. Can I change it here? I doubt it. Okie dokie. Let's go with this. Let's say. I mean, still no. I am kind of thinking that it's because of the order that it appears. Maybe not though. Why isn't it seeing it? This is ChatGPT. Oh, this is cool. It doesn't have any linters loaded. That's the problem. I wonder if I can. This has been bothering me for a long time, so I gotta figure. I have no idea what broke here. Uh, hmm. I wonder if I change this. Yep. Okay, so this is really interesting. Um, if I change the file type to be shell, down here, shell check is smart enough to see that it's a bash file, and it changes its warnings depending on that. However, the syntax highlighters are not smart enough for that. So they don't do it as well. So having it be a bash file is better for that case. So like if I, the shebang, so what I'm trying to say is one fix for this would be to make anything with, you know, any ending bash or whatever all into a shell type. And this gets back to what I think broke it. What broke it was Vim added a bash type file type, and it looks like, I think there's a bug in Ale. It doesn't see the addition of the other linters. Oh, you don't see the shebang line? Oh, sorry. So that's what's going on. So when I was, but watch, if I one fix is to make everything into a shell file type, and then just change this because shell check is smart enough to know the difference, even though the file type is still sh for both. The file type can be sh for both, and it will still do the same thing. So if that's one fix. The downside of that fix is that when it's the shell type there, you see these errors. It's like, you can't do that because the syntax highlighter doesn't know it's bash, and that's because Vim added another file type for bash. Watch, if I change the file type, this will break Ale, but it'll fix the syntax highlighting. File ft equals bash. So now it's bash down here, and Ale stopped working. Ale stopped working completely. It's not working at all, but now the syntax is correct, right? And if I go back, if I make the file type, this is a bug in either Ale or Vim, because if I set the file type equals, there's nothing I can do about it. It's like, if I set the file type, it's possible the file type's not getting detected early enough, but I doubt it. If I set the file type, because as soon as I change the file type here, it immediately does the right thing, which would mean even if it were late in the vimrc, it would still be fine because it's after the fact. If I change the file type right here to sh, it'll go back and Ale will activate. An alias here. I didn't know you could individually. All right, so linter aliases. That is a good idea. That is probably going to fix this, actually. I'm guessing that's going to fix this problem. So, yeah. And the best I can guess, because I didn't change anything, the best I can guess is that the more recent versions of Vim added bash as a type, and that started breaking things. So yeah, one of the things I want to check here is I want to see if I can set these this way. I don't know if I can or not. It looked like I could from that file. So bash equals shell check. Let's see if that works. Did not like that. It really did not like that. It's like, you cannot do that. What the hell? Undefined variable, Gale Linters. Oh, maybe you have to do the first one or something. It still doesn't work. Map file types, yeah. Yep, so let's try that. I'll enter aliases. Yeah. I'm still not seeing it. Yeah, the aliases thing is not working. So it must be an old version or something. Or the new version doesn't work. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I need to go get some food, take a break or something. Um, I need to go do some dinner. Let's go raid somebody. I'll be back later tonight. That's super frustrating, though. Yeah. I mean, it could be that. One last try here. It could be that it's just not on the. I don't know. It could be it's not loading it. Maybe it's at the wrong place in the file. It says here, if file rate expand AutoRim plugins. So this stuff is only executed. If plug is detected. All right, so it's getting in there. I forgot to. We're not really doing anything. We're just screwing around with shell check. Yeah. I mean, it's not even. It's. I mean, I could not get more explicit, and it's not doing it. It's just not doing it under any circumstances, no matter what I do. So, you know. So ft equals sh. It'll start working. Right? See. It works. So that's annoying. I actually want to make it so that it doesn't collapse. I want to leave it so that that line is. I hate it when it collapses and changes the whole thing. That drives me crazy. That's just something I've been wanting to fix too. Yeah. If you have line numbers, that's not a thing. Set numbers. So you like. Oh, it is a thing. I thought it wasn't. Yeah. I want the gutter to be there all the time. The problem is you just don't know how much gutter to draw. Right, to keep the gutter on. I'm doing everything correctly, so at this point I think it's a bug. It's just not seeing it. And in fact, I mean, even when I define it while it's running, it doesn't do the right thing. So I feel like it's a bug in the linter at this point. Yeah, I don't like saying that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let linters equals bash shell check. It still doesn't work. L info. Nope. Modifiable is off. Press space to read help read setting. I do like that. That's better. I don't like it when it just knocks it all over. So that can stay. But I don't see about the other stuff. I have to go away and come back. I'm gonna go ahead and raid somebody, and you guys can find me a Ben later tonight. I'm losing steam here. Let's go raid somebody. Toad is on. I didn't think he still streamed. I guess he does. I guess Toad still streams. Yep. He still streams. How am I on his site? I thought he didn't stream anymore. Dude's like laughing all the way to the bank. Let's raid Alta 4. What is he doing? Warple nutrition allows you to build, develop, and ship software reliably. Same magical tool. That's cool. Yep. Not much pickings right now. Yeah. We'll go ahead and rate him. How you doing, Big Ken? I'm just about to leave for a second. Raid the Alt F4 stream. What is it? God damn it. Who is that? Linux kernel networking internals. That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna rate him. Wait, what happened? Did the raid not go through? Sandboxel? I haven't seen them. Do, 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 do.